Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Christian Dawson, and I'm Executive Director and co-founder of the Internet Infrastructure Coalition. And today we are giving away our yearly award, which is called, let me get this, go ahead and get the name right, the Ron Yokubaitis Community Leadership Award. This is the biggest award that i2Coalition gives. We give one each year to a member of our community who has made a big difference fighting for the internet's infrastructure, making sure that the internet itself survives and thrives. And today we are giving away our award. We usually do it during our yearly fly-in, but we can't all come together this year, so we're doing it over Zoom. It is named for Ron Yokubaitis. Ron, it is not a memorial award. Ron is still with us. We named it for Ron because he's an individual who runs an organization called Data Foundry. He was here long before we were, marching up to Capitol Hill in Washington and teaching people how the internet works so that legislators don't do stupid stuff that messes it up. So when we find people in our community who are fighting the good fight, who are doing things that are above and beyond, we like to recognize them. And this is an opportunity for our community to come together and point to somebody and say thank you for all that you do. Today, I'm super excited for the award that we're going to be giving. It is to my fellow co-founder of i2Coalition, David Snead. And we have lots of people that would like to say some nice things about David. So before we get ready to go ahead and give David his award, we have a few people from our board of directors who wanted to hop onto Zoom and talk about what David's work has meant to them and their organization. First up is Jane Shi, who is the vice chair here at i2Coalition. Jay, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, so congratulations, David, on this super well-deserved award. I think we were all shocked when we realized that you had not yet received it. And I guess I would just say that I fully blame you for my involvement now in all of these tech policy issues. But, you know, truly you are a role model for me, and I have just really appreciated your ability to kind of, you know, switch back and forth between understanding the technology, but also being really deeply steeped in how legislation works. And yeah, you're my policy wonk superhero. So congratulations.
Thanks, Jane.
Next up, Michaeli Nalon.
I can get this thing to work. Hello, okay. Good evening. It's late in the evening here in Ireland, so you'll have to apologize for my problems with videos and technology. So David is the guy who kind of guides me a little anytime I interact with the US. He kind of helps to explain to me who's important and why not killing them is probably a good idea. You better edit that out. No, I mean, joking aside, he is our kind of spirit guide for those kind of interactions with DC and the Hill, and it was great to work with him within I2C over the last few years. My time on the board is coming to an end shortly, so David already has left us, though he is still very much involved on a day-to-day basis, and it's always fun to hang out with him. Unfortunately, we can't do that in person, so I'm going to raise a glass this evening to David and to you all, and hope to see you all again in person and not via Zoom sometime soon. Thanks.
Thanks, Michaeli.
How about Graham?
Thank you, and congratulations, David. I'm sure nothing is better at this moment than sitting in front of your computer and watching people say nice things about you. You know, I think this award is super well deserved. My relationship with David has meant a lot to me, certainly as I was beginning to find my feet and my voice inside of ICANN and also working within the I2C. David was always there with his kindness and dry sense of humor provide some guidance, and I for sure have really appreciated that. And I'll repeat here what I say in my little video that I've also made, which is that I can say clearly and with confidence that David Snead is in fact the greatest living human.
Awesome.
That's great. David Hamilton, we have a video coming in from a member who couldn't join us tonight. Could you go ahead and play that next?
Hi, David. Congratulations on being this year's recipient of i2C's Ron Yokubaitis Internet Community Leadership Award. You know, David, we've known each other a long time, and you are indeed one of the unsung heroes of our industry. And we're very happy to see you getting the recognition for your many contributions. Over the last 15 years, we've seen firsthand how your guidance as an attorney has been instrumental in helping companies, both very large and very small, navigate their way through both good and bad situations. Obviously, your co-founding of the i2C with Christian was an important step for our industry. Much more difficult and significant, however, has been all your work giving i2C the standing it has today as a knowledgeable, responsible, and influential group in Washington. A lot of people have contributed to that, I know, but none more so than you. Through those contributions and many others, you've helped our industry immeasurably for a long time to go. And so the entire team at Cheval is unanimous in saying congratulations and thanks for everything you've done.
Great. Well, before I turn it over to Melinda to go ahead and present you with the award, I want to take a moment as executive director, as co-founder, and as friend to thank you, David, for all that you have done. It is an understatement to say that my life would be incredibly different if not for you. You know, we started this journey together, big time. A little bit of a story there. When David was my lawyer when I was working at Servant, and this piece of legislation came out that we saw it being really problematic. This is a precursor to PIPA SOPA, really problematic to the industry and companies like ours. And we wanted to figure out what in the world we could do about it because it was going to be catastrophic. And David was talking to me about it. And I said, well, what can we do? And David said, well, I'm going to get a meeting with Senator Wyden's office. Will you come with me? And we got a meeting with Jamie White over at Senator Wyden's office. And we sat down and we talked to him about this particular bill that was a precursor to PIPA and SOPA. And Jamie White said, we said, what can we do about this? And Jamie White said, get more of you. That was his advice to you, to us. We know you don't like it, get more of you. And the important thing to note is that we're a couple of guys who run hosting companies, relatively small guys. And we weren't wonks. We didn't have policy backgrounds. We were just techies. And the fact that David, you were able to take a look at the legislation and say, well, you know what, we could pull people together. We could make a substantive difference here, and we could learn this stuff. We could become the people that we need in this industry. Gave me the confidence necessary to stand by your side when we did that. And I think we've done something really remarkable for this industry together. Now you are a incredibly preeminent wonk in this industry along the way of having marched down this path. And so I want to thank you for what you mean to this industry, and I want to thank you for what us building that together meant to me personally. Thanks, David.
Thank you, Christian.
So now, Melinda, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thanks, Christian. What you've shared with us is really just the thing that I love most about David, is that his story is the story of the i2Coalition, that this was someone who saw a problem in the industry and stepped up met the challenge, organized individuals, consolidated voices. He did this representing several small businesses, grew the I2C to small, medium-sized businesses, and then bridged the gap to get larger businesses as well, that he was able to communicate effectively and convince people that might seem to be competitive or adversarial or outsized or outnumbered. And he showed that we have common goals, and he bridged that gap. I think that's how he transitioned so smoothly into cPanel and helped bring additional companies, and continues to play this role where he helps organizations, regardless of their size, all meet our goals, all have a unified voice, and to help our sector. And for that, I have the privilege of presenting David this year's Ron Yokubaitis Community Leadership Award. It is well-deserved, arguably overdue. Congratulations and thank you, David. This is certainly not a Lifetime Achievement Award. We expect much more out of you. We're not letting you off the hook. We're excited for many, many more years. Thank you.
Thanks, Melinda, and thank you to everybody who talked. I would assume that 50% of what you said about me is probably true. The other 50% is just kind of buttering me up for something that I don't really know about. But you know, I'm really honored to receive this award. Honestly, it is pretty ironic that I'm receiving this award, since when Christian and I were discussing our first fly-in, I was adamantly opposed to giving out awards. And so I guess Christian is right every once in a while, which I'll give him that. But I'm really grateful nonetheless. You know, in thinking about getting this award, I've allowed myself to get a little nostalgic, which I don't really ever allow myself to get. And I've been thinking about the journey that I've been on since we started this organization, and reflecting on this, it's kind of important for me to recall that when Christian and I were talking about starting the organization, one of the things that I said to Christian was that there were a lot of trade associations in Washington who just went from issue to issue to issue, really finding issues that they could flog in order to justify their continued existence. And I didn't want to be that kind of organization. And it turns out that there is a need for our industry and for the industry that we're all in to have advocacy on the Hill, advocacy in multi-stakeholder organizations. And so again, Christian was right that there was a need to have an organization that continued. So he's kind of batting 2 for 2 in this little dialogue here. But you know, the work that I've done with the i2Coalition and everybody who is on this Zoom call has been among the most rewarding in my life. And I think I owe a great deal of thanks to the folks who are on this call, to the board of directors who always do very, very hard work. I'd like to specifically give a shout out to my partner, Charles, and our daughter, Marcel, who sat through interminable dinner time conversations, not only about the minutia of internet policy work, but about the really, really boring minutia of putting together a trade association, which is very, was a lot to sit through. Again, I think it's important to thank Christian, who my family refers to as my work spouse, who I have probably yelled at more than my actual spouse, though he probably deserved about 80% of it. And then, you know, the folks at cPanel who have given me the bandwidth and the opportunity to pursue this kind of work, and they've supported me and they understand the importance of this to our business. You know, while I probably never wanted anyone to receive this award, I'm grateful that I have received it, and I certainly hope that I'm able to live up to all the good things that everybody has said to me this afternoon. So thank you very much, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you, David. And
Woo!
thank you, David. Thanks to everybody. And that concludes our ceremony for this year in lieu of a fly-in. We have now completed our awards presentation. I thank you all for your time.
This can cut cheese, by the way.
That's a great last word.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Bye,
Thanks
everyone.
all.
Take
Congrats,
care.
David.